Let's talk Tanya for the 15th of Tishrei, the first day of Sukkot. Today we start chapter 22 in Igeres HaKodesh. Chapter 22 is an excerpt from a larger, lengthier letter from the Alter Rebbe, wherein he gives guidance to people who are coming to him, the Chassidim who came to him to Yechidus for private audiences, what they should and what they should not discuss with him during these audiences. But first, let me give you a little background over here. So, the Alter Rebbe's teacher, the Alter Rebbe's Rebbe, that was the Maggid of Mezrich, passed away in the year 1772. Shortly thereafter, the entire Eastern Europe was divided up amongst the many disciples of the Maggid of Mezrich, each one becoming a Rebbe in a certain area and taking responsibility, so to say, spiritual responsibility for the Chassidim in that region. The Alter Rebbe was allocated a very large region, Lithuania and White Russia, and within a short amount of time, the Alter Rebbe had tens of thousands of Chassidim, and the situation became overwhelming on the Alter Rebbe. He lacked the time to be able to meet with each one of the Chassidim personally as much as they would have wished. It also was very taxing on the infrastructure of the city of Lyazna, where the Alter Rebbe was, which couldn't handle the large crowds of Chassidim that were coming to visit the Alter Rebbe. So the Alter Rebbe had to enact various enactments. These are called Takanas Lyazna, the enactments of Lyazna. And this letter is part of that, is one of several letters where the Alter Rebbe lays down the rules in order to make the situation sustainable. So this letter, which was written in the year 1793, again, as I'm mentioning, the letter which is printed in Tanya is an excerpt of a larger letter, and in the larger letter, the Alter Rebbe first, he starts off by actually placing restrictions and limitations of how often Chassidim could come to visit Lyazna, how often the Chassidim who come to Lyazna can come and enter and have a personal audience with the Alter Rebbe, which basically was once a year per Chassid. And then the Alter Rebbe continues and he says, even when you come into me to Yechidus, I need you to limit your questions and your inquiries to areas of Torah, if you have a question on a Torah topic, or if you have a question regarding Avodas Hashem, service of Hashem, those are questions that I feel comfortable addressing in Yechidus. But the Alter Rebbe says, please don't burden me with questions regarding material matters. You want advice on health issues, on business issues, or whatever else may be, which city you should live in. The Alter Rebbe says, I don't have the answers to these questions because these questions are for prophets. In the times of yore, there were prophets. In the Tanakh, we find that Shaul, before he became the king, his father lost some donkeys, and Shaul goes to Shmuel, who was a Navi, to ask where the donkeys are. The Alter Rebbe says, yes, prophets were able to advise people also on material matters. But the Alter Rebbe says, take a look. Throughout history, the great Talmudic sages, we don't find that people approach them and ask them for advice regarding material matters because they're not privy to that information. So Alter Rebbe says, in addition to all the limitations of how often you can come into Yechidus, please do me a favor. And when you do come into Yechidus, do not ask me for any guidance regarding material matters. So if the Chassidim are not allowed to ask the Alter Rebbe for guidance in material matters, then when they have issues, when they have questions, when they have tsaris, when they have problems, what are they supposed to do? What is the alternative to seeking the advice from the Rebbe? This the Alter Rebbe is going to address in the next two segments of Let's Talk Tanya.